square-based pyramid. So surface area, this shape is a pyramid. So we're going to use the pyramid formula. Remember, there are technically two surface area formulas, right? Are we doing surface area? Yeah, surface area. I like to use the top one with the HS. So this is the formula I'm going to copy down first because it is a pyramid. So SA equals B plus 1/2 PH little s. So first we're going to do is find the shape of the base. The shape of the base is a square because it says a square. And that's why it doesn't have two numbers. Because if this side's 8, this is also 8. So we're going to find big B. Big B is a square, length times width. So we're going to use 8 times 8. 8 times 8 is 64. You also need to find the other capital letter, which is P. So P is the perimeter of the base. So if I go around the sides, I have 8 plus 8 plus 8, which is 32. So I'm going to take P and I'm going to take B and I'm going to plug it in. So I have B is 64 plus 1/2 from the formula. P is 32. And my slant height in my picture is 16. So the first thing I need to do is multiply 1/2 by 32 by 16. So I'm going to multiply these back numbers. So 1/2 times 32 times 16 gives me 256. If I add 64 to it, I get 320. The next shape is a cylinder, and we're finding volume this time. So if I look at my blue sheet, I'm looking at a cylinder. I'm finding volume. So V equals big B H. V equals big B H, where the base is a circle. So people are just putting 6. It's the area of the base. So I can't just put 6 here. I have to use the circle formula for area, which is IR squared. My radius is not 6. It's half of it because this goes all the way across. So half of it is going to be 3. So I'm using 3 as my radius. So I'm doing pi 3 squared. 3 squared is 9. And I'm multiplying by the pi button. So we can use 28.27. If you round to the nearest 10th, technically that is all right as well. And then I'm multiplying by the height, which is 5. Because I have this whole decimal in my calculator, I'm just going to use the whole decimal because it's right here anyways. And I'm going to multiply by 5. So I get 141.37. Once again, if your decimals are slightly off, it's okay. It's not a big deal. It's totally fine. The next shape is a sphere. Determine the surface area. So if I look at my formula sheet, first sphere, surface area is equal to 4 pi r squared. I'm going to plug in my radius, which is 3 because it only goes from the center out, so I don't cut it in half. It's already cut in half. 3 to the power of 2 is 9, and then I'm just multiplying these all together. So 3 squared is 9. I'm multiplying by pi, and I'm multiplying by 4. So altogether, 113.097. So the 7 would make the 9 go up. So if you want to put 0.1, either way, it's going to be 0.1 if you round to the 100th or the 10th. Number 4 says determine the volume of the cone. So I look at my formula for a cone. Cone is volume equals 1/3 big BH. Once again, you have B, which is a capital B. So that's the area of the base. The base is a circle. So I have to use pi r squared off to the side. My radius, this whole thing is 6. So half of it for the radius is 3. So I'm doing 3 squared times pi, which is 28.27-ish. So I have 1/3 in the front. I have 28.27. My height, regular height, not slant height, is 10. And I'm just gonna, because I have this whole thing in the calculator, I'm just gonna multiply by 10, multiply by 1/3. Doesn't matter the order in which you multiply them because either way they're multiplying all together. So you should get around 94.25. If you round to the nearest tenth, it's just 0.2. I put 25. It's okay. That's not a big deal. 5 is where the word problems start. 5 says that the cost to wrap a gift box for Christmas is $1.25 at Macy's. Determine the cost of wrapping the box below. So this is technically a prism because it's a box. So we're going to use our surface area formula because we're talking about wrapping the outside. A prism and a cylinder have the same formula. So I'm going to use the top formula, surface area, because I'm talking about wrapping my present. And I have to think that the bottom of the box has dimensions 9 and 13. You can't see the other side, but 13 would be on the back, 9 would be on the other side. So we're going to start by finding B. So B, because it's a rectangle, is length times width. I'm going to use 9 and 13. Which is 117. I also need to find the P for this. So if I look at the P, P stands for perimeter of the base. I'm using the same dimensions. I have 2 9s, 9 plus 9, and I have 2 13s because it's a rectangle. So if I add 9 twice and I add 13 twice, that makes 44 for my perimeter. So I have 2. My B is 117, the area. My perimeter is 44. And then the height is the last number, which I haven't used yet, which represents this portion, the vertical height of the prism, which is 3. So I'm going to multiply separately, multiply, and then add them. So 2 times 117 is 234. I'm adding 44 times 3, which is 132. So 366 is my total area. The last step I need to do, this is technically half credit right here. I need to multiply by the cost to represent how much total I'm going to pay. So I'm going to multiply this by $1.25. So $457.50 or 0.5. The next word problem says a can of Campbell's chicken noodle soup is only filled 5/6 of the way. Determine the total amount of soup in the can if the can has a diameter of 3 inches and a height of 4.5. So if you need to draw this, you have a diameter of 4.5 inches. You have a height of, oh, I wrote that wrong. You have a diameter of 3 and a height of 4.5. So I'm going to put 3 at the top. Sorry. So this is 3 all the way across. 4.5 is along the side. So because you're filling the shape, you're using volume. So this is a cylinder. I'm using volume because it's a soup can. I'm filling the inside. Volume equals big B H. Big B is the area of the base, which is a circle. So I have to use pi r squared off to the side. My radius is not 3. My radius is half of that because it goes from the center out to the side. So we're using 1.5 as our radius. So I'm going to do 1.5 squared times by pi. So around 7.07-ish. I need to multiply by the height of the shape, which is 4.5. You want to use the rounded decimals, that's okay. I'm just going to multiply by 4.5 in the calculator with whole decimal. So you should get around 31.81-ish. Okay. Now this is the thing. This is if the can was all the way full. It's not all the way full. It's 5/6 of the way. So I'm going to multiply my total by 5/6. So I'm going to times it by 5/6 to get the final answer, which is 26.51-ish. The last problem asks for the lateral surface area of the cone. So this is what we talked about during word problems. Lateral is just the sides. So if I look at my cone formula, I'm talking about surface area. I'm going to use the surface area formula. I'm going to start by copying that down. Surface area equals big B plus pi r slant height. So lateral surface area does not include the base. Lateral is just the side. So it's just this cone part. So we do not even need to use capital B because we don't want the base at all. It doesn't matter. We're just going to plug in these numbers and multiply them. So we have pi times my radius, which is not 4, goes all the way across. So 2 is my radius. And my slant height is 12. So I just need to multiply these, and then I have my answer. So pi times 2 times 12, which is around 75.4. And if your decimals are slightly off, that is totally fine. It's not a big deal. If you can do these, you'll be doing great on your quiz.